does. It's dangerous. I just did a quick and dirty scan, but it looks like with the TPP calculations, that $700 million that's going to schools will be rolled back by at least a couple, 300 million. It looks like the local government fund would be trimmed again because the state income tax rate is going down. Local libraries would be getting less money.
The local government fund, I mean, there is tax revenue, GRF tax revenue growth, and that's the basis of the calculation of both the local government fund and the library fund. And so there will be growth. I think the numbers, I think it's up to like 383 million roughly the first year, and up into just shy of 400 the second year on the local government fund side. Library fund is just a few dollars below that. So there is growth. With regard to the tangible personal property tax, on the operating side, there's about $235 million over the 2 years that will be reduced. And so the net increase is still over $500 million. And again, let's think about who receives those tangible personal property tax dollars in the school space. And that is those entities that have a much greater capacity to raise revenue locally. And it doesn't make sense for the state to continue to target hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars who have the capacity to already fund their schools. Furthermore, it was very clear when the tangible personal property taxes and the kilowatt hour taxes, property taxes went away, that these would be phase outs. It does not make sense, because as the law stands now, these payments will be made in perpetuity. And that does not make sense to continue to pay people for a tax system that existed more than 10 years ago, and particularly when economic conditions have dramatically changed throughout most areas of the state. Just not a good way to spend state tax dollars that we raise.
So there'll actually be more money in the local government fund, but let me also say that I think they ought to give great consideration to the way it's distributed. There are some large counties that operate like cities, and I've encouraged some of the members of the legislature to take a look at that mix. Because some counties that operate like cities should be accommodated for the challenges and the problems that they have. But I have to tell you, and I don't have the statistics in front of me, but as I recall, what is it, like 97%, who's got remembers these numbers, like 97% of all local governments were running surpluses on a percentage basis greater than ours. So I guess what I'd say to you is, when 97%, somewhere in that vicinity, we'll get you the exact numbers, have been running surpluses greater than ours. It's like I went down to Lancaster, and the mayor down there, I think he's a former mayor or something now, he had a 15% surplus and said we need to send in more money. And we have to deal with all of this if you're going to have a business-friendly environment. I think we've done enough with the local government fund. We didn't have any idea that we're going to go in and do it again. But the people also had a chance to vote in an election. And I know there were at least 2 counties that were upset with me out of 88. So we're analyzing that.